Ooh la la, Bampasude. Interesting there. I hope I'm in one piece by the time the show ends. Te Bampasula. Interesting there. A very good morning wherever you are watching Morning at NTV. Welcome to our Tech Note discussion where we are discussing reshaping culture and policy for artists' welfare in the country. And joining me on this particular segment of the show are renowned entertainers, artists, and of course creatives. Patrick Idringi, aka Salvador, and Phina Mugerwa. Very welcome to the show. Ladies first. Oh, settle.
Just getting
calm down. How are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
Bampasude is a track that came out in which year?
Bampasude came out in 2009.
2009. Yeah. And what is the story behind Bampasude?
No, it was all about a guy who, you know, it wasn't about me, but we sing about what is going on in the world. It's like you have me, you see me like you have nothing. So Salvador, if Salvador sees me around, then he tries to see something good. So I tell you, Bampasude, he has already taken me because he has seen something in me.
Interesting there.
So then I concluded by telling men you should value what you have.
You should value what you have. Otherwise, bagena mupasula. Interesting there. My Uganda is. He's on point. No doubt about that. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
We are talking reshaping culture and policy. Patrick Idringi, Salvador.
Yeah.
Soko Kali.
Blessings.
What's up?
Respect.
How are you? Bobby.
Now
let's first talk about the fact that you decided to hide and the money also from me. What exactly is this? What's going on?
You know, they say when you start getting money, you reduce your circles.
Yeah, I was the first victim.
Yeah, you are one of them. Just know the circle reduced.
Interesting. Now, we must make sure I return to that circle.
Definitely.
I'm a professional PR handler.
Oh, wow.
And I need to be part of your team. You need to begin to out that information and some of that stuff that comes off Twitter, Facebook, and all these other platforms in very crisp, good English.
Yes, sir.
Bukade butano per day.
Bukade per day.
Can we work?
That is not money.
Interesting. New York guys pay that money, and that's why you see guys making a lot of money. Reshaping culture and policy within the industry. First and foremost, let me begin with Mr. Idringi, aka Salvador. There was a time we saw comedy as, well, laughable. So much so that we never took comedians seriously.
Yes.
We find ourselves on the flip side right now, that most of the things that we need to understand about society today are best told through comedy. How do you feel being at the top and the helm of this particular narrative?
It actually makes me very, very proud that we have reached this far. Like you said, back in the day we were ridiculed. Yeah. You know, like the compliments you would get. Hey, you guys, you are really very stupid. Like that would be a high compliment for a comedian. Right. But now they're talking about, that guy is smart, he's intelligent. That joke, you'll understand it tomorrow. Like it is. The compliments are changing because the way we have presented ourselves, the way we have handled ourselves over the years has been consistent. Yeah. There is not, we've sold ourselves based on hard work and talent.
That's right.
And perseverance. Unfortunately for the music industry, there's been a lot, there's beef, and then there is the who has more cars, then there is that. So they sold themselves in different perspectives. And the inconsistencies is the one that brought a lot of, you know, doubts and, you know, questions. But for comedy over the years, we have been consistent. You know, you understand, we have not fronted anything we don't have. And the beauty is we talk about what we actually have.
That's right.
So over the years, and then they came to realize that actually we are professionals. We were professionals in different fields before we decided to become comedians. That's right. Like when people, up to now, people still struggle to know that I'm an engineer. They struggle so hard to find out that I'm an engineer and I'm a comedian. So it's something that they sit down, engineer, fuka comedian. Those guys are not easy, they are serious. So over the years, the way we have been consistent with what we do has helped us reach where we are. Interesting that you speak about being a professional first and then a comedian. Is there the possibility that those who are seeking to be mainstream comedians can go professional, i.e. go study comedy and then be good and very effective at making people laugh or even
laugh at themselves sometimes.
Just like music, comedy has different segments. There are writers.
Wow.
There are those who write. There are those who perform. For him, he just sits, he listens to a story, and then
he creates the kind of
story
vibe around it. Yeah.
And then there are those who are very good at writing. I've seen so many good writers on Facebook, but when they step on stage, something different happens.
They freeze.
Yes, they freeze.
Okay.
So there are those who go to school to study comedy. I'm blessed to say that I didn't, go through any of those. It was just natural talent. But I had to be groomed.
Yeah, that's right.
I had to go through some workshops by professional comedians from South Africa who came actually to train us when we were just starting. And I think that is what helped us be where we are today.
Okay.
We got that grooming when we were still raw. So every time we tried to do something, we would look at the principles and the disciplines we were taught.
Wow.
And that's what guided us.
All right, Phina Mugerwa, does the same sentiment appear, or is it evident in music that somebody can be able to reshape culture without necessarily altering what you are? You stay authentic and then go about this business in a way that is first acceptable to yourself and then your audiences.
Thank you. It's all the same. We are in the creative industry. It can be either way. But then it all begins with you. Yeah. When it comes to talent and knowing who you are, Salvador knows. I'm an engineer and I can do comedy. When it comes to being an engineer, he is. When it is time for comedy, he does that. So it's all about you. The way you've talked about yourself being a PR, you feel proud of it. That means you have packaged yourself. Wow. So this goes to all the artists. You can be something else. You can have different personalities in you. Being a musician doesn't mean that you should always be there waiting for stage. No. Okay. You can be someone else as well as some other person. I keep on telling people every time that be with different personalities. Okay. When you come to Phina, I have another personality on stage. I'm very crazy. You see me from there. During the time, I'm a businesswoman, corporate woman, someone different from stage. So it's all about the personality, creativity. Package yourself. You won't regret. Within
the aegis or the umbrella of the Uganda Musicians Association, is there a deliberate rollout of the trainings or talks to some of the young ones to understand that this thing can be done in a particular way to maximize, well, earnings, including profits, but also to be a brand? Because at the end of the day, it doesn't make sense to simply sing. You must sing to be a brand so that you are sought after.
Yeah. Among the objectives of the association is creating a profitable environment for all the stakeholders, for all the people who perform. How are we going to do that? We are there to clean up policies, make sure that government gives us the real policies. The association is not there to give you money in your pocket, but it is there to strengthen the policy which can help you earn from your works. Yeah. We always organize workshops, for example, for finance literacy. That's why we brought microfinance on board to teach finance literacy, know how you keep your money, how you can invest, teach you how you can be a big person who can be an investor, someone different from music. That's right. We are also unleashing another project in the coming, actually in January. We are having something where we're going to provide workshops regarding finance literacy, branding. Actually, one aspect I saw about comedians, they have branded themselves. Yeah. In that, corporate companies don't fear handing their brands to them. If you brand yourself by packaging yourself, even a corporate company can be very sure and contented to work with you. But if you're not steady, you keep fighting every time, you don't know how to dress up the way you dress up on stage, the same way you go somewhere else. So it is not all about being a musician from 7 a.m. to 7 a.m. You know, you have to package yourself properly so that you attract other corporate companies. Let's not be musicians from the whole day, night, then you got look up to something else. So the association is here to streamline and strengthen the people, the policies and procedures, and some information about the creative industry, about the practitioners. Yeah. We should know that everything has a policy procedures, and processes. It's not all about you being a star and you think you're going to whatever, put down the ethics of some institute.
Wow. Yeah. Interesting there. I'll be coming back to you shortly, especially on matters regarding leadership at Uganda Musicians Association. But allow me just to engage Mr. Idringi, Mr. Salvador, on during the olden days, yes, kings had guys they called fools. Yes. And you probably say that's the king's fool. The king's fool, yeah. As a comedian, you are more like your client's fool. Yes. Now, somebody hearing that word might be like, hey, Chris, what the hell are you doing? You're offending the guy. The king's fool in the olden days was the guy who made the king laugh, tell the king the things that other guys can't tell the king, especially in a subtle way. Are you comfortable most of the time when you go on stage to tell clients the things they might not hear from the chief financial officer, the accounts guy, or the human resource manager?
Yeah, first of all, you have to be very, very careful. There are some topics you just avoid, regardless of how fun it is. Yeah. There are some segments you can't touch, especially things which unite people.
That's right.
The things which unite people are religion. The things which tribe doesn't usually unite, because we have like over 52 tribes in the country. Uganda. But there are things which unite people. Like when you talk about them, you have gone in a certain way. And then there are people who are very sensitive. You cannot just start talking about disabled people. Yeah, that one is off the list. However funny the joke is.
That's right.
And then you cannot talk about, there's a segment of people that feel, you know, if you talk about them, problems. So to save yourself, you talk about things that, you know, the everyday person talks about. A boda guy can relate, and a corporate guy in the office can relate to. That's right. Like politics. Making jokes about politics is something that comes easy. And you will say it in a subtle way whereby no one will get offended, but the message will have been sent.
Very clear.
Yes. Okay. And that is where the art comes in. And you have to be also very careful. So it is tricky. You need to be smart about it.
Interesting there. Uganda Musicians Association has been involved in a lot of what some people would love to describe as ruckus, leadership crisis. And so much so that it's trying to dent the possibilities within the industry for some musicians. Where is the leadership direction right now? What is the strategy?
First and foremost, I thank God that you know what has brought about the ruckus. It's because they have realized we have to be here.
Yes.
If they have now realized that Uganda Musicians Association is the way to go, then that is okay. We just have to look out for the ways of bringing them together as a team. And if I can go back to the other point, when it comes to talent, you can't go to school to get a certificate to become a good talented musician. Someone can come from street and become a star. So it's all about creating some more workshops for them to learn what to do. Leadership courses. We are going in for leadership courses with Professor Valunywa so that he can teach what is meant by a leader. How do you stand? How do you talk? Public speaking. So the association
Interesting
is
there.
here.
How do you stand?
As a leader, very important. How do you dress up? How do you speak to the people? Okay. We are looking up to having an academy for the artists, for the creative industry. Now you look at, you got a chance of having some lessons from the comedians from South Africa, which not other person is going to get. So if we have an academy and we have facilitators who can take people through, in the coming years, 5 years, we need someone to stand as the president of the association when he has a certificate from the academy. That means he knows the ethics. He knows what is going to be done in the leadership. Another thing about the ruckus, that is normal. That means people are struggling to come in. Okay. We are happy, but then we are handling.
I love that.
At this time, we are on the round table. When it came to the elections, that came in when we came for elections, whereby everyone wanted to be a leader. Yes, people came in. All the opposers had come in. So that was a win for us.
You also talk about the money.
I was going to ask you a question. What is the debate and the culture around money within the entertainment industry, artists, musicians?
When it comes to money management, you can't avoid the mindset of money. What I know about money in UMA, we have structures. When money was got from the ministry, it came to UNCC, Uganda National Culture Center. UNCC gave a National Culture Forum, headed by Raga. The National Culture Forum harbors all the association with the 9 domains. So as UMA officially has ever received 60 million for capacity building, and we have it on a bank statement. It is a public document. Otherwise, no government, no person can give an institution money to an individual, through an individual.
Talking about money, away from what government offers you.
We have never received any money from government. This one I'm saying it on national TV. We have never received any money from government. Comedians have suffered. That is why we are consistent. That's why it's easy for us to be organized. Because we are all broke.
And they're not waiting for handouts.
We are not waiting for handouts.
You know who you are.
Controlling poor people is very easy.
It's very easy.
It's very, very easy, especially if you have some small thing. Now, if they know that you've gotten money from the government, there will be problems. That's why these guys are suffering. But because they know we have never received anything, so we as the leaders of the Uganda Musicians Association, which is led by our president, Mugerwa Hannington, we as the leaders, when we tell them, guys, we have a workshop, they're not going to say, hey, Baba, what they said, they got money from here. This is money from our pockets.
And that is so different from us. When you happen to organize a conference, this goes to the creatives. When you happen to organize a conference, the conference is about you. You're getting knowledge, but someone comes in, you people, you've got. So if we stop thinking about these small things and focus, know what we want, we will not go wrong.
Money is a huge thing.
It's very huge.
And I'm glad your pulses are
for us, we don't have.
You know,
there's nothing like public secret of 60 million. Zero.
How do artists and entertainers manage their money, the one that comes honestly through their concerts, through their performances? There are incidents, for example, where we've seen some of them mismanage it, not understanding that you need to create sustainable income streams. How are you managing, and what do you see that can be changed, especially in terms of shaping a new culture when it comes to money management?
Unfortunately, like for me, I'm not an expert in money management.
Somebody does that for you.
I have a wife.
Oh,
yeah. So all I know is my money is well utilized. I'm not going to give anyone any advice on money because it's also a personal decision. It's a personal choice. I'm not going to impose.
You've just given us advice. If you have money, give it to your wife.
Give it to your wife. That's if you are married. If you are married. These things of side don't bother.
I shouldn't give money.
That one you are wasting. But if you're married in the church, give your. Those people are very smart. Me, my wife, there are times I come and I tell her I'm broke. And then all of a sudden she gives me fuel. On my money.
On your own money.
Not knowing where it came from. But me, I'll be very proud. I'll be like, hey, Bambi, my wife gave me some money for
interesting
today.
There.
So she manages everything.
All right, I won't ask for your advice on money, but I'll ask you, how do you cope with fame and the fact that money comes to you? You need to do a lot of things that you like. There are people around you who might advise and say, don't do that. But here you are, you have the money. How do you manage life?
I go back to the same statement I made when I was beginning the thing. It begins with you. What do you like? Where do you want to be? How do you want to look? What is your mission? You can get an answer from them.
All right, let's now transition to something that is coming up, a prayer
2nd
initiative.
November. 2nd November. First, as UMA, Uganda Musicians Association, it has a welfare team. These are the organizational structures which we are trying to make so that we are in a straight line and attract you people to work with us after getting organized.
I'm already on board.
One major problem with creatives, including the comedians, when it comes to welfare, we have got a problem, not one, not two, not three. When someone dies, all eyes on the administration, but this is voluntary work. When I'm a secretary, I'm not paid. But then when someone dies, they just call in, someone has died, we need the coffin, we need this, we need that, and I'm also a musician like you, and sometimes I might not be having some big shows the way you do it. But then we sat down as an administration, and we looked up to Funeral Service Uganda. We came into partnership with them. So from 2nd November, we are partners, and they have sponsored this prayer day to remember, celebrate celebrate our fallen comrades, all those. Even if you don't like me, see, it's not all about liking me. We are coming together, musician, creative industry. Let us come together. Rubaga Cathedral, the main celebrant is the Archbishop, and pray for the lost souls. And then besides that, we are having a policy. Actually, it is going to go to every creative sector. We are having a policy with finance, funeral service, Uganda. A creative, prepare for your last day. Don't disturb people. One time, Father Chibi talked about it. You should prepare for yourselves. By the way, let me tell you, when someone dies, it is always a big point on the administration. You just pay only 150,000 annually. Annually. Okay. So that you prepare for your last day. You will get services worth 7 million. They built the tomb. Now when I went to the producers were like, Phina, these people have helped us. We are just struggling with finishing up our comrade's tomb.
Salvador, that pales with our topic, of course, reshaping culture. The culture around death is one that is hard to define for the African. It's
hard to talk about. It's like a taboo.
It's like a taboo. More like we behave like we want to die. So much so that when that happens, the whole infrastructure or ecosystem around our lives kind of gets shocked that you've died. There is no money to buy something. There is no money to do this. Tell us your sentiments about that and how you either agree on how things are being done by you.
Honestly, I used to think that way until COVID happened. Because I used to think death is something you don't talk about. It's a taboo. Like, it's very uncomfortable. But during COVID, you all noticed social media became like a funeral service, a funeral home. You open your Facebook page, the first 6 posts, people are saying RIP, oh, my sister is dead, oh, my mother, oh, my this. It became very depressing until I said to myself, by the way, it's not until I lost a very close friend. He was actually my architect, very close brother of mine. He was a very good guy, and then he just left. That's when I said, you know what, we have to talk about this.
You have to talk about it.
This is something we need to prepare for. That's why when we talk about insurance, I am a very, very big fan of insurance. When it comes to health insurance, when it comes to education, when it comes to life
insurance.
All my family members are on insurance, that one of death. Yeah, my parents, my brothers, my sisters, just in case anybody goes, there's cover. And it's very little money, 100,000, 75K a year. You need to prepare for these things. This stuff of stressing people, and then you get annoyed because somebody has not contributed, or you think the contribution you've made has been swindled.
You'll be dead. Where is the anger coming?
I mean, I don't just die. I won't just die. I will know who contributed and who did.
But then let me tell you one thing. The first day this thing got into my ears, we were like, oh, but the day we lost that girl, Grace, that's when we realized that funeral service Uganda, it has to be there. Seriously. The parents were like, oh my God, it is the association which has done this, because they were just seeing them transporting the body. Coffin is there. Everything was done. So this was a very good policy, and it is good for all the members. So I call upon all the musicians, please subscribe so that we prepare. It's hard to talk about now.
Very hard. So this prayer initiative is going to be annual?
The prayer is going to be annual. We are going to do it every year. So for this theme, we are just celebrating. That's why the theme code of dress is white. We are putting on white because we are celebrating. And the service is going to begin at 12 noon. 2nd November, let us all be there. Even if, regardless of any different, please let us be there. We are going to be rotating. We can be in the mosque for the time, then we go to the Protestants.
On that very day?
No.
Different
Annually.
Years.
We rotate annually. So
that should be made very clear, because somebody might assume that since you're beginning in the Catholic establishment, then perhaps you won't be rolling out into the Anglican.
No, we're going to roll out. We are going to keep rotating because we have different religions. So please, 2nd November, I call you upon. You come, sponsored by Funeral Service Uganda. We are going to be one and pray for our lost comrades.
All right, let's give Salvador the opportunity to talk about an upcoming concert and wrap this up for us.
Yes, thanks to NTV that came to support. Next Friday at the Kololo Airstrip, I have my annual international show called Africa Loves. I bring the best of Africa, and then you see, our comedians are very comfortable performing in Uganda every day, every year, every hour. So when you bring different perspective from other countries, they get challenged to step up, because I can tell you for sure, in East Africa, we have the best comedians.
Yeah,
Uganda has some of the best comedians, because our English is clear. It's very clear.
Okay.
I have traveled, I know. I can tell you for a fact.
All right.
So I just want our very own, that's why the lineup has both international and local. I want our very own to be challenged on how they can step outside their comfort.
All right, I'll be challenging some of my viewers here who view the morning at NTV on a daily basis to be able to come and of course be part of that particular show. Any tickets for them? You'll leave around 10, so that
definitely.
I can know how to dish.
Yeah, definitely.
Interesting there. Phina Mugerwa, many thanks for making it on the show. Patrick Idringi, aka Salvador, we are emboldened by your appearance on the show, and of course the light-hearted nature of this conversation. We hope the day can be as light-hearted as the show has been, and no doubt as you go about to perfect the hustle, ensure that what needs to change in terms of positive culture wherever you are does exactly that. Morning at NTV, I'm Chris Higenyi on behalf of my colleague Priscilla Regina Naloga, and of course the guys behind the scenes who ensure that things move perfectly. Mubonge. Good day.